Hey y'all, it's Miss Smith. Happy Thursday. I'm going to walk you through our bell work and what we're doing today in class. So I'm going to share my screen with you, if I can figure out how to do that. Share screen. Okay. So if you get on Canvas, your English homepage should look like this right here. Okay. So we're on this module August 3rd through August 7th. And you go down to Thursday and find the bell work. And then click on it. Okay, I'm really going to try to zoom in today because I've noticed that y'all have had a hard time seeing what I'm doing. So let me see if I can get that figured out. Oops. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase what I did earlier so I can talk through everything with you. Okay, so let's look real quick at this top right-hand corner. So we're talking about phrases and clauses today, and we'll actually talk more about those next week. But I just want to introduce you to them in 7th grade English. So phrases and clauses are what sentences are built upon. Knowing a bit more about phrases and clauses will help you better understand sentence structure and create stronger sentences. So first, let's look at what a clause is. A clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate. So you have learned before that a subject has a noun or a noun phrase in it, or a type of pronoun or proper noun. A predicate is the part that has your verb in it, okay? So there are two types of clauses, independent and dependent, and we'll talk about those later. Let's look at some examples first. I am hungry. This can stand by itself. It is an independent clause. It has a subject, I, and a verb, am. Okay, now am is not an action verb, it's a being verb, but it does do something. It tells what I is. I am. Okay, and then I love sleeping, so I spend a lot of time napping. This actually has two independent clauses. So you could say I love sleeping, period, and you could say I spend a lot of time napping, period. But these are connected with comma and so it makes it a compound sentence. So the subject in I love sleeping is I, and the main part of the predicate is love, but everything after that would also be part of the predicate. And then in this second part, I is the subject, and spend is the main part of the predicate, but the rest of it could also be considered the predicate. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, because I was hungry. This is a dependent clause. It can't stand alone as a sentence. You can't just say because I was hungry, period. You've got to take off because if you want it to stand by itself, and you could say I was hungry. Okay, but because makes it dependent. It depends on something else. It can't stand by itself. So the subject would be I, and the main part of the predicate would be was. Okay? Let's talk about phrases. A phrase is a group of words that does not have a subject-verb component necessary to make it a clause. So it has either a subject or a predicate, okay? So a subject or a verb, a noun or a verb, not both. So after breakfast could count as a subject because it has breakfast, which is a noun. With the brown hair, hair is a noun, so that could be counted as a subject. And for 4 days, and days is a noun, so that could be a subject. But none of those have verbs. So it's not a clause, it's just a phrase. Now, needing assistance is a verb phrase, but it doesn't have a noun to it, so it just has to stand by itself as a phrase. It's not a clause. All right, so I want to do number 1 with you real quick. We're going to ignore this top little part, but we are going to circle the predicates, star the subject, and box the phrases. So number 1 says, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, while taking his homework out of his desk, Alec heard a giggle from the girls behind him. Okay, so the first part is a phrase, while taking his homework out of his desk. We don't know who was taking his homework out of his desk. And with phrases, we are supposed to box them in. So I'm going to get my little drawing over here, and I'm going to box this the best way I can when I'm drawing on a computer. Okay. So all of that is a phrase. And then our subject is Alec. So we're going to put a star above him. He's our person. who's doing the action, and the action is that he heard a giggle from the girls behind him. So all of this is part of the predicate. So we're gonna do a circle, but I'm gonna leave it open so I can complete the circle over here. That was terrible. Okay, and then there are two phrases in this last part. I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing and then try again. Okay, so I'm gonna recircle that predicate, and I'm leaving it open because the rest of it's over here. The main part is the verb heard. All right, so from the girls, that is a prepositional phrase, so we're gonna box that in. And then behind him is a prepositional phrase, so we're gonna box that in. So this is what you need to do on numbers 2 through 5. Box the phrases. If I were you, I might find the subjects first, like Alec, and then find predicates next. So this actually is like a predicate. Taking his homework out of his desk, taking is a verb. So predicates have verbs in them, but we don't see a noun or pronoun or proper noun that comes before this, so it can't be a clause, it's a phrase, okay? So this right here is a phrase that we boxed in. It has a verb to it, but no noun in front of it. And then we have Alec over here. He is our subject of this independent clause. Alec heard a giggle from the girls behind him. So heard a giggle from the girls behind him is the predicate. And then we have two prepositional phrases in that, from the girls and behind him. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stop the bell work right here, and then I'm going to show you what else you're doing for the rest of class. So once you go back to home, okay, I want you to fill out these two Padlets if you can, okay? I'm not taking them for a grade, it's just a participation thing so that I can kind of get a gist of what you think. We're talking today about why language is important. Basically, we use language all the time. Anytime you hear or say words, anytime you read or write words, all of that is using language. So when you watch TV, you encounter language. When you text your friend, you encounter language. You're encountering language all day long. You're being exposed to language all day long. And pictures and symbols can even represent language. That's why all stop signs are a red octagon. Even if you couldn't read stop or it didn't say stop, you'd know it meant stop because all the stop signs look like that. All right, and then I want you to click my favorite way to use language. And I want you to answer this prompt. It's just 5 sentences. Please follow the directions. You're just going to do a text entry. Yours won't look exactly like this. This is my teacher version. And then after that, after you finish this, I need you to finish your iReady diagnostic. I'm pretty sure it will only let you work on it during school hours. And you can go back to your vocabulary practice assignment at the top of this week's module. Let me go to the home page and I'll show you where that is. If you're confused, watch yesterday's video because I talked about it then. But this is the assignment. The word that you're supposed to use, the vocabulary word or focus word that you're supposed to use is acknowledge. And then here's some examples. All right. So if you have questions, please let me know. Message me on Canvas or Remind or email me. And I hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye.